Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, this is me Atiq Ahmad. Today we are going to study the topic the structure of kidney. The kidney is enclosed, or in other words covered by a connective tissue layer which is known as fibrous capsule or renal capsule. Now this fibrous capsule or renal capsule, it is made of elastin and collagen proteins which have the ability of flexibility as well as the toughness. So the function of the fibrous capsule or renal capsule which encloses the kidney is to protect the kidney as well as to support this vital organ. The basic structural and functional unit of kidney is nephron. Nephron is the structural unit of the kidney. It means that structurally the kidney is made of nephrons, and functionally all the functions of the kidney are performed by the nephron. So nephron is the basic structural and functional unit of kidney, and we will study in detail the structure of this nephron, which is an important basic unit of kidney. There are over 1 million nephrons per kidney. A nephron basically consists of two parts, the renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. We will move towards the teaching points. Renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle again consists of two parts, the glomerulus and the Bowman capsule. Glomerulus is basically a tuft of capillaries which is surrounded by a thin double-walled cup-shaped structure known as Bowman capsule. So the blood is supplied to the kidney through the capillaries, the tuft of capillaries which forming the glomerulus, and it is surrounded by a thin double-walled cup-shaped structure called Bowman capsule. The Bowman capsule is again made of special type of cells which are known as podocytes. Podocytes are the cells in the Bowman capsules that wrap around the capillaries of the glomerulus. They make the epithelial lining of the Bowman capsule, the third layer through which the filtration of blood takes place. Diagrammatically, we will observe it here and we will explain that how it is the third layer through which the filtration of blood take place. So this is diagrammatical representation. This is the tuft of capillaries, this inside here. This is basically the glomerulus. Now this is surrounded by this Bowman capsule, this cup-shaped structure. It is a double-walled structure. So collectively these capillaries which are going inside forming glomerulus and this cup-shaped structure around the glomerulus, collectively both are known as renal corpuscle. In another diagram here it is clearly shown, these are the capillaries. This is the afferent arteriole which enters into this Bowman capsule. This is Bowman capsule. This top capillaries, this is basically glomerulus, and this surrounding thin double-walled structure, this one is known as Bowman capsule, and collectively these two are known as renal corpuscle. So renal corpuscle consists of glomerulus and Bowman capsule, and remember this area, this is the cortex. In the previous lecture we have studied that the outer region of the kidney is the cortex while the inner region is known as medulla. So the cortex basically contains these renal corpuscles. We will move back. We were talking about the layers. So there are 3 layers. Now what are those 3 layers? The first layer, that is the capillary layer of the glomerulus through which the blood will pass through high pressure. Then there is a basement membrane around the endothelial layer of the capillary. And then the third layer, that is the Bowman capsule, the double walled layer which is made of podocytes. So diagrammatically we will move here again. So this is the glomerulus, the capillary network. So this capillary wall, basically it will consist of endothelial layer and then the basement membrane and then the Bowman capsule, the third layer, that is the Bowman capsule wall, which is made of podocyte. So the blood will move here through pressure. It will pass through the first layer, the endothelial layer of the capillary, then the basement membrane, and then the podocyte layer. So the filtration will occur in this way. Now we will move towards the renal tubules. Again, it will be better to explain it diagrammatically so that you will conceptualize it better. Now let's start from this diagram. So we have already discussed that this whole area is renal corpuscle. It consists of 2 parts, the glomerulus, the capillary network, which is covered or surrounded by this Bowman capsule. Now starting from this Bowman capsule, the first area which is highly coiled and convoluted, this first area, this is the proximal convoluted tubule. This is the proximal convoluted tubule of the renal tubule. The renal tubule consists of several parts. The proximal convoluted tubule, then this is the loop of Henle, then the distal convoluted tubule, and then the collecting ducts. So the first part of the renal tubule, this is the proximal convoluted tubule, which arises from the Bowman capsule. Then it will move down. Now remember, this region, this is basically the cortex region, and this region, this is basically the medulla region. So the proximal convoluted tubule will move down and it will become narrow. Now it will form a U-shaped structure. This U-shaped structure, this structure is known as loop of Henle. This loop of Henle consists of 2 limbs. This is the descending limb moving downward, and this is the ascending limb moving upward. So the blood filtration start here, then the filtrate move through this proximal convoluted tubule, then it move into this descending limb of the loop of Henle, and then it will move through the ascending loop of Henle. Now another part through which it will pass, that is the distal convoluted tubule. This is another part, the third part of the renal tubules. So this is again moving upward into the cortex region, and this is again highly coiled and convoluted. From here, this will enter into this collecting duct. This is the collecting duct, the last part of the renal tubule. And the urine will pass from, starting from here, the filtrate, which will slowly and gradually convert it into urine. So it will move from here through this loop of Henle and then the distal convoluted tubule and then into the collecting ducts. Now this is one nephron, there will be several other nephrons, and all nephrons will have the similar structure, and the collecting duct will be there. So the collecting ducts of several nephrons combine together, and they open into the renal pelvis, and from the renal pelvis then the ureter starts. So the urine is passed into the ureter, then it is passed to the urinary bladder where it is stored, and from the urinary bladder it is then excreted out of the body through urethra. This is another diagram. We will explain it here also. Again, the structure of nephron here diagrammatically: the renal corpuscle, the first part, and the second part, that is the renal tubule, that is this tubule system. The renal corpuscle consists of glomerulus, this one, this is the tuft of capillaries. Another part is the Bowman capsule. This is the Bowman capsule which surrounds this glomerulus. Then the renal tubules will start. So it consists of four parts. This is the first proximal convoluted tubule, which is highly coiled. Then this is the loop of Henle, and then this is the distal convoluted tubule, which is again highly coiled, and then the collecting ducts. So many collecting ducts from many nephrons will combine together to form a large duct, which is called large collecting duct, and these ducts will ultimately empty into the pelvis. Then the ureter will start, and then from the ureter the urine will move into the bladder where it will be stored, and then it will pass through the urethra to the outside environment. This is all about today's lecture. This is the first part of this lecture. We will study the type of nephrons in the second lecture, in the second part of this lecture. See you next time. Take care. Allah Hafiz.